Okay, let us continue from where we have stopped last time. Simple interest and compound interest. Let us take a question. Divide 3,400 rupees into two parts such that simple interest on the first part for 3 years at the rate of 8% per annum is equal to simple interest on the second part for 2 years. Let us make a small correction. Here we'll take it as 6%. Here we'll take it as at the rate of 8% per annum. Try this problem. Okay, so what is mentioned here? 3,400 has to be divided into two parts. First part, second part. Now first part is given at the rate of 6% per annum. So interest per annum is 6% of first part. And this is the interest for 1 year, simple interest for 1 year. And it is lent for 3 years. So what is the 3 year simple interest? 3 times. On the other hand, second part is given at the rate of 8%. So 8% of, yes, that's the interest. Now at the rate of 8% per annum, it is given, it is lent for 2 years. 2 years. This is 3 years interest, this is 2 years interest. It is said that interest, this 3 years interest is equal to this 2 years interest. Right? So F is to S is 8 is to 9. So F is 8 by 17 into 3,400. So if F is 8 parts, S is 9 parts. So F must be 8 out of 17, right? So first part is 1600, so the remaining must be the second part. an amount sums to 13,310 rupees in 2 years at the rate of 10% compound interest per annum. An amount sums to 13,310 in 2 years at the rate of 10% compound interest per annum, that is A2 is equal to 13310. Find A1, A3. Try this problem. Now this is at the rate of compound interest. So finding A3 from A2 is very easy. A2 is mentioned as 13,310. If you increase this by the rate of interest, that is 1331. If you add it to it, you get 14641. This is A3. So 14641, with that you have two choices. So let us find A1 as well. Now how to find A1? You cannot do like this. Why? Because reference is previous amount in case of compound interest. Which means for A2, A1 is reference. For A2, A1 is reference. Also, for A3, A2 is reference. So to find out A3, we have directly considered 10% of A2. But to find out A1, we should not consider 10% of A2. Rather, A2 is 10% more than A1. This subtle logic, if you understand, simple interest and composition is very, very, very easy. So with that understanding, if you have to solve, that is, we don't know what is A1. So any reference, if you take it as 100 in terms of percentage, it is very easy to solve. So if you assume A1 as 100, you increase it by 10%. You get 110 as A2. That is very easy. You don't need to even do that calculation. 10 per 100, right? Increment. So with that logic, the actual value is given to be 13310. So you have to find out what is A1. If you cross multiply, you get this answer. Let us take one more problem. So consider Rahim and Ram repay their loan. What will be the amount left with Ram? Try this problem. Very interesting because it takes care of half yearly, compounds, and as well simple interest. Try this problem. Okay, Ram lent 6,000 rupees from Sham at the rate of 11% simple interest and lent it to Rahim at the rate of 10% compound interest. Interest to be calculated half yearly. After 1 year, Rahim and Ram repay their loan. What will be the amount left with Ram? Okay, 6,000. If you are calculating by simple interest, whether it is calculated every half year, annually, quarterly, it does not matter, because interest at the end of the year, whether irrespective of what type of mode of calculation, it will be the same. So 6,000 is A0, A1 at the rate of 11% simple interest is 6,000 plus 11% of 600, that is 10% is 600, 1% is 60, 660. 660. This is the interest. Right? Now, A0. So, how much Sham has to pay? Amount Ram should pay Sham. So Ram has to pay this much amount. Now let us consider how much Ram is getting from Rahim. Now interest is calculated at the rate of 10% per annum. This is 10% per annum, right? This is also 11% per annum. If the units are not mentioned, it is always taken as per annum. Now 10% per annum, if you calculate for every half year, it is 5% for half year, right? For half year. 5% for half year. So 5% if we consider 5%, now how much you are going to get? 300, right? 5% is 300. So 6,300 is the amount after half year. If you do it again, you are going to get amount after 1 year. %5 of 6,000, we have already done 300, right? 5% of 300. 10% of 300, it is 30. 5% is 15. So plus 315. Plus 315. So how much are you going to get? 6,615. Here it is 6,660. So what will be the amount left with Ram? Ram is not going to be left with any amount. He has to pay from his pocket. Right? So 6,615 minus 6,600. So which is 45 rupees. 45 rupees. Ram has to pay extra. This is the answer. So he will, or in other words, he is left out with minus 45 rupees. That is, he has to pay from his pocket 45 rupees extra. Take it fast. Okay, let us take one last problem from simple interest, compound interest. The difference between simple interest and compound interest for 2 years over an amount taken at the rate of 8% per annum is 8 rupees. Find the amount. Try this problem. Okay. Now let us consider simple interest scenario and compound interest scenario. First we'll start with simple interest. Principal amount is not given, let us say it is 100. Simple interest for 1 year, right? This is based on assumption. This is based on assumption that if principal amount is 100, simple interest will be 8. Then simple interest for 2 years, it is 16, right? Which implies amount after 2 years, principal amount plus interest for 2 years, that is 116. Let us consider by considering compound interest. A0, if it is 100, 8%, so plus 8, so it will be 108 after 1 year. You do it again, 8% of this, that is 8.64. So it will be 116.64. That is A2. 116.64. So what do you observe? At the rate of compound interest it is 116.64. At the rate of simple interest it is 116. Right? Combining these two, what do we get? Difference between amounts. What is the difference between amounts? 0.64. You got this difference because you have taken principal amount to be 100. Suppose the principal amount is 1000, you will get difference as 6.4. Suppose you take principal amount to be 10,000, you will get 64 rupees. Right? So how much you have to consider, as you got difference as 8. Difference is 8 rupees. So this is based on assumption, whereas the actual scenario is this. Right? This is the actual scenario. So 8 into 100 divided by 0.64. Right? So this is as good as 8 into 100. Multiply and divide this by 100. You get 64. 8 ones are 8, 20, 8 2 is 16, 4, 8 5 is 40, 1250 rupees. That's the answer. That's about simple interest and compound interest. Let us consider one more application of percentages, that is profit and loss. Right? There is one more application, data interpretation, which we'll be considering later. Data interpretation, which takes care of ratios, averages, percentages. So all these application and obviously charts, graphs, that we'll be considering later. Okay. Now in profit and loss you come across so many formulae, but we will be focusing on just concept. For a gate point of view, understanding the concept is sufficient. You don't need any shortcut. I'll show you that if you understand the concept and if you take the reference as 100, it is very, very easy to solve any profit and loss problem. Okay. Now, so many terminologies involved. So first let us consider the terminology through one example. Let us say I go to a fruit market and ask for 1 dozen bananas. I go to a fruit market and ask for 1 dozen bananas. The fellow will say 50 rupees. What do you expect me to do? Being a common man, I'll bargain. Haggle also is one more word you can say, bargain. I'll bargain until both parties obviously accept, because I want to buy, I'll stop right at one point. So let us say I end up with 44 rupees. I'll be happy because 6 rupees concession I got. He's obviously happy because he would have bought it for 40 rupees, let us say. You come across 3 different prices, 50, 44, 40. Now if you compare these two, by the way, before comparison, let us look at what is 40, what is 44, what is 50. 50 is the price he told. You go to any shop, corporate shop, you find a sticker on each item. So in this case it is one dozen bananas. So you'll find on the sticker label price, sticker price, marked price, all are same. Market price, label price, listed price, all are same. Market price, label price, listed price, all are same. That is 50 rupees. Right? Now coming to 44. What is this 44? This 44 is the amount that I paid to vendor, or in other words, the selling price. Right? What is 40 rupees? The amount that vendor has invested on that 1 dozen bananas, which is nothing but cost price. So these are the 3 different terms that you come across: 50 rupees, 44 rupees, 40 rupees. Right? Okay. So let us compare cost price with selling price. Vendor paid only 40 rupees. He incurred 40 rupees. He got back 44 rupees. So you clearly see a distinction. 4 rupees. So this, which is nothing but profit. Suppose vendor got only 36 rupees. by selling it. That means 4 rupees loss. You don't need to by heart that selling price minus cost price. If it is positive, it should be profit. If it is negative, it should be loss, right? Pure common sense. 4 rupees profit. Similarly, when you compare these two, market price with selling price, 50 rupees vendor told, but he gave it to me ultimately for 44 rupees. That means vendor gave a discount of 6 rupees. You will always come across 20% off, 40% off, up to 60% off. You usually don't find this in bold letters, whereas you find 60% off in bold letters. By the way, what is the 60% off? It is nothing but discount percentage. Discount is always calculated over. Discount is by default calculated as a percentage of market price. That is by default. Otherwise it will be clearly mentioned. So when you say discount is 10%, it means if discount is 10%, which implies discount is 10% of market price. This is what you have to understand. Okay. So for discount, market price is reference. Market price is 50 rupees. So for every 50 rupees you get 6 rupees discount. That means what is the percentage? For every 100 rupees how much? So this is what you are doing. 12%. So what do you understand? Discount is 12% of market price is what we understand. Next, profit. Whether it is profit or loss, it is always calculated over cost price. So reference is always cost price. Please understand the by default references. If you understand this, simple interest and compound interest, anyway, the application of percentages, profit and loss is as well very easy if you understand what is the reference. Okay. So if the cost price is 40 rupees, 4 rupees will be the profit. That means if the cost price is 100 rupees, what will be the profit? Straightforward answer, 10%. So what do you understand? Profit is 10% of cost price. So of cost price is by default. Here of market price is by default. That is why you don't find of what? When you say profit is 10%, it is 10% of cost price. Right? Let us see a third comparison which is very rare. Cost price is 40 rupees. Market price is 50 rupees. Now how much you have marked over cost price? So you bought it for 40 rupees and put a sticker as 50 rupees. Right? So marked over cost price is 10 rupees, right? Marked over cost price is 10 rupees. Marked over cost price is 10 rupees, right? Now, if cost price is 100 rupees, how much is marked over? If you observe, this is 1/4. 1/4 is 25%, right? Right? Therefore, vendor marked 25% over cost price. Vendor marked 25% over cost price. There is one more understanding here. If you add 6 rupees and 4 rupees, it is 10 rupees, which is this value. Whereas here, discount 12%, profit 10%, 12 plus 10, it is not 25. Why? I'll explain this after break.